Now we're going to talk about the controversial stuff. We don't want the people in there to hear. Yesterday, I never saw so many of these things in the sky. You've seen even more, but some kind of aircraft. You can say, oh, this is chemtrail territory. Those things that are way, the planes that are, or whatever they are, way up in the sky, that leave a long trail behind them. It's almost like if you remember the Rodin film, when it was almost like watching Rodin, but going in a straight line. I never saw 3 of those things in one area. And yesterday I saw about 7 or 8 within a space of 10 minutes of driving in Baltimore. So what is going on, man? What is this mystery?
It's something I never had any interest in. I haven't been interested in UFOs since I was about 12.
No.
I don't really care about the environment.
Ecocide.
Yeah, I mean, so today we're getting some rain. It was not supposed to rain today.
Nope.
It was not supposed to be cloudy today.
Yeah.
Just period. Now, when you look at weather forecasts, they get altered every hour.
Yeah.
They just.
I got screwed by that last week.
They just alter it. You've got to look like right now before you go outside. So you might as well just look out the windows.
Right, it might as well be like the most of human history.
The reason why I would look at the weather now is to see, because they were very accurate until about a year and a half ago. The weather forecasts were extremely accurate. Just really. Every once in a while they'd be off on like a snow event or something like that, but they weren't really off. What they were doing is they were taking a 20% chance and lying that it was a 50% chance to get you to come back to watch the update.
Right.
Because they were just playing scare tactics of trying to get their advertising dollars up. But these were very accurate, and they have my friend Bob's got a brand new seeding machine now. This is as big as his truck.
Oh.
Okay, in his backyard. Instead of the thing that looked like a propane grill that he used to have in his backyard, now he's got one of these things that's automated. It's just, there's a government agency that pays him a few bucks every time they fire that thing off to increase snowpack, because that's how they get their water from. And there's a lot of people that live out there.
Right.
Okay, so what I saw in the sky last Thursday when I got here surpassed what I saw in northeast New Mexico and what I've seen almost every day in the Portland, Seattle area.
Interesting.
Okay, almost every day. And when you add it up, if this wasn't happening, if these artificial clouds were not being manufactured by whatever these airframes are, I would have seen hardly any clouds this year. That's how much of these things I see. So what I would typically see in Portland is I wake up in the morning and there's already lines laid out. And a couple of times I've been up at dawn and I've seen them. They're already in the process of laying them out. The lines are typically in the Portland area. These airframes come from southeast of Mount Hood, and then they fly northwest past Mount St. Helens, just out to sea, and then they stop tracing the lines. So, and what happens with, this is a couple 100 miles. It takes you hours to drive this. It only takes these things 2 minutes.
Whatever they are, they're moving very, very fast.
I've noticed 3 different speeds and 3 different sizes of airframes and 4 different altitudes. From like semi-low altitude, I mean something that looks like 5,000 feet, all the way up to something that looks like when the Artemis had already been firing off for a few minutes when it took off. Now, of these 4 categories that I see out in the Pacific Northwest, one of them, which never fires off first, you tend to get the mid-level. Then you get the lower level. The mid-level is going at like mid-speed. The lower level is going slow. And these are big trails that you can see. It's always 2 trails that come out the back, and then about a mile behind the airframe, they start to mix. Then they make a line. Then the line gets pulled by one of these mountains, and these mountains are able, with the vapor, to generate their own weather system. Okay, so they're strategically they're being placed intelligently if you're trying to make rain with them. Then the third layer is going at a 45-degree angle, which planes don't do. Okay, commercial planes don't do. That's something that military planes do. I'm told these things are drones by people who know about, airplanes.
All right,
and stuff.
well,
And then the fourth layer is the highest. It's not as high as the height that the 45-degree angle goes to, but that 45-degree angle one, those things go quick, like a minute, and this thing's going a couple hundred miles.
all right, so
And it's spewing this stuff behind it, and then you end up with this grid, and it starts to swirl. Now, in this part of the country, it's either going to sit. That's how the Mid-Atlantic is. It's either an armpit, and it sits,
armpit,
or it's a place where the winds that come up from Florida along the eastern seaboard of the United States will just pick it up and take it up to Jersey, New York, New England, and out to sea. So it behaves a lot differently here, and in Pittsburgh it behaves differently again. And then you just see these clouds form in place.
Yeah,
you don't see many lines, but you just see these giant mushroom clouds just form in place. They don't float in.
What do you think is going on?
I don't know. Again, I'm interested. What I'm interested about is the fact that nobody sees it. Almost nobody sees it. And when you point it out to somebody, they either never look up again, okay, or they say, well, that's obviously airliners, or,
yeah, I don't know,
or they're like flying reinforcements for the war or something. Look,
right.
They're not flying in formation.
Right.
They're flying in grid patterns, like they're making a checkered board.
Yeah,
or a chessboard.
exactly. Yeah.
And then they're crossing it like this, and then they're crossing it again, and then they're cutting up diagonally through it. So
I'm looking every day at this.
So if
thing.
we think about what impresses me is one, people refuse to look at it once it's pointed out to them, and aren't inclined to look at it to begin with. That's the one part that interests me. The other part is the fact that it seems like this is happening in the 50 major metropolitan cities. Not that I've been to that many places, but I know two people that look at it. Well, I'm counting between 20 and 60 airframes a day, wherever I'm at. And I'm not out there for 14 hours.
Right.
The one time I counted 52 was when I was playing horseshoes with Dog Soldier.
Right.
And we're out there for a long time. We dug the pits, we threw horseshoes. It was like an all-day thing. So if you just say 50 times 50, every day.
Yeah.
And when you talk to people that work with flying machines for a living in the military, these are obviously military airframes, even though they might be run by private contractors. You've got to work on these things every time they come back.
Yeah,
so even if it's a drone, it's still going to have to be worked on. It's going to have to be fueled up.
Right.
It's going to have to be loaded with whatever it's spewing. So again, that's like 5 dudes involved in this one aircraft at a minimum, plus the guys that are commanding it and directing it and everything. So there's tens of thousands of people that are part of this operation.
That don't say nothing.
Right? They don't say anything.
Right.
And then what I pointed out to my brother, who's a military guy, and when I first pointed out to him, he was like, that is weird. I'm glad you pointed out to me. Thanks for ruining my life. Well, that was in Pittsburgh. But then the other day, 3 days ago, I meet him for a family thing, and he's got a lot of responsibility on him. And I said, hey, look up here. You see, you got 3 of those airframes right there. I think they're flying out of Aberdeen, and they're heading down to Baltimore. He's like, yeah, you said something about that the last time I saw you. Yeah. And he looked down at the 4.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so he's like, I don't have time for that. And he doesn't, because he's got other stuff that he's got to do. But
like I said, I was just driving from point A to point B. I looked up, I saw more than I've ever seen in my life. Even by where I'm at, which is like farm country, I'm seeing them more. Obviously, every day you see these things, you see You know, I remember skywriting when I was a kid. You don't see that anymore. But you see these things every friggin' day. So, of course, you know, I'm a horror guy, so I assume something sinister.
You also see clouds that have formations that have not been recorded before. Bob did get me a copy of the Peterson's Field Guide, which I looked at, and I was surprised. It wasn't just cumulus, nimbus, and the others.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, there's like 45 different kinds of clouds.
Yeah.
Most of them are pretty rare and happen in specific places. But I didn't see chessboard or checkerboard.
No.
On that list.
What could they be doing?
I didn't see diagonal line clouds.
You in the comments? What do y'all think they're doing? So I know some people are gonna say, "Oh, it's just you guys."
So one theory is that there is currently unusually high sunspot activity, 4 times normal surface radiation. I heard from one source. And if you took these line clouds away, we would hardly have any clouds this year, and we're already having some record droughts in the Rocky Mountains.
Yeah, there's droughts.
So I had one man who's a pilot tell me, he said, "One, these are drones." Okay. And he said, 2, I think this is an allopathic, he used that term, treatment of the atmosphere that we somehow screwed up. His theory was above ground nuclear testing.
Yes.
Okay. But another theory is that the Hart facility in Alaska, which was supposedly decommissioned, might have been repurposed to agitate the sun, to get it to form more sunspots, not to hurt us. But the sun was supposed to go into the eddy solar minimum for 30 to 60 years. Right. It went into that minimum for 3 years and is now out of it. That's an anomaly. And during those 3 years, you had winter wheat crop failures around the world. You got a war starts between 2 of the greatest grain producers in the world, and one of them's north of the other one. And you had vegetable crop failures in Europe a couple years in a row. So it could have been that there was an attempt to the excess volcanism, like there's a lot of volcanoes going off right now, that would go with a solar minimum. So apparently it's still in a solar minimum, but something's happening to make it generate more than usual sunspots when it should be generating less than the usual number of sunspots. So the crackpot theory is that somebody on Earth, or maybe aliens on the back end of the moon, or whatever,
please.
Okay, or Phaeton or Apollo or Thor, or somebody,
they're good too.
It has agitated Helios, has pissed off the sun, and the sun is now lashing out, and it's burning away the clouds, and these things are basically being set up to defend,
so the heroes,
the area. So those are 2 different defense of the people science fiction stories.
Right.
Okay, my webmaster personally subscribes to the bug spray and we're the bugs.
I agree. I'm with him.
Okay,
I'm with him.
But I don't care.
Oh yeah, no.
I'll write all 3 of them as science fiction novels. The important thing here is that we get the opportunity to write a decent science fiction novel, okay, where the ass-kicking machine is not a woman, and the hero is not a cuck.
That's right.
Okay,
well,
that's
I mean, at this point, humanity, oh well. So, although I can't say messing, if we're gonna mess with the sun, what could go wrong with that? I can't think of what could go wrong. So hopefully it's aliens.
Look
like
up
you were
the
saying.
Legend of Phaeton.
Look at the aliens. Oh God, I'm sorry. I ate a lot of you. Forgive me. Can you come down? Oh, keep watching the skies. There, I see you. I see you. Vanilla Man. I see you. Yes,